Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Pureworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. It's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. Two-way views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
Oh, it's Taco Tuesday.
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yummity yum. It's like a treat.
Oh, gotta love Taco Tuesday. How we doing, sir?
All right, I'm having a taco cigar right now. It's kind of like a regular taco, except I use cigar tobacco and cigar tobacco leaf and put them together and make a smoking cigar. Smoking taco.
Oh, you eat it instead of smoking, or you smoke it instead of eating it.
It's like a taco brown salad.
Taco brown salad. Okay, we don't like brown salads, just as a general
No.
rule. But if we're smoking it, that's a little different.
That's right. So, how was your day?
My day is actually going quite well. Because when I went, I used the mobile setup. I didn't have to like reset up a whole bunch of new stuff. So it was my first time like using the full mobile setup. So made setting things up kind of easier. Kind of enjoyed that. Enjoyed the day
Well, hold
off
on.
yesterday.
You say mobile setup, but where were you? People have no idea where you were.
That's right. For those of you who were not there, we were at 2A Freedom Fest there in Summerfield, Florida, and we were hanging out with some of the coolest pro-Second Amendment people in the country. And Mike.
Yes, we were. I believe we found a few differences in bourbon styles, but other than that, I think it was all very compatible. Very compatible.
We did find some differences in bourbon style, both in flavors,
Yes.
in how we consume and who we allow to consume.
And origin of those whiskeys. Yeah. So
There you go. Exactly. Hats off to the guys from Alabama.
take it off slow.
Take it off. We had a good time. We actually had a very good time. And then on Sunday, I got to attend my first ever machine gun shoot.
Yeah. Now that video had better be during the parting shots. You better have that video up there.
You know what? I will work to make sure that I get that video up for the parting shots. I will do that. I will do that while we are partaking in the show. But I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. First time on a machine gun?
Well, I've shot an automatic rifle before, back when I was in high school and they were recruiting me for trying to get me to sign up to be a Marine, but never shot like, the big gun. That was nice.
The big guns, belt feds. Yeah. Crew-served weapons.
Yes, never did a belt fed before. I just had to fight back though the urge to say, get some.
Get some. How do you shoot women and children? Easy. You just don't lead them so much.
I have to tell y'all though, and first of all, you don't hear like that much gunfire anywhere except maybe Compton in the middle of the night. Other than that, no, I'm just
Detroit,
kidding.
maybe that's
Detroit, maybe Chicago, but they're all using handguns, so there's just a lot more people shooting, is what it is. But it was, like I said, it was a lot of fun. It was just, the smell of like oil and gunpowder in the air was just, it was
Cordite.
America. Cordite, is that what that is?
Yeah. Listen, I found the noises very relaxing. Machine gun fire, being in a torrent of machine gun fire, I find it very relaxing. So,
I'll tell you, it's funny. People who've never been to a gun range, never been around guns, it's like the sound of a single shot will like shock them. But when you're used to it, that's one thing. Getting used to the idea of rapid gunfire over and over again, it didn't take me long to get used to it, but I have to admit, I wasn't used to it at first.
Yeah, you could tell I was pretty used to it when I took a nap.
By the nap you took. It was like, because it's like literally it's all going off around him, and Mike is just.
It's just soothing. I mean, it's the sounds of home. It's
Yeah.
It's like taking a kid away from New York City and putting him in the country, right? And now he's listening to crickets, freaking out.
Right.
But as soon as you put him back in there underneath the L train, with the lights and sirens going off, it's peace. Peace.
Exactly. And you didn't hear any snoring either, so there is that benefit.
Machine guns don't snore, Craig. I don't know where you got that from.
Machine guns don't snore. Okay. Not even a saw?
A saw will snore, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't think I saw the 249 out there. So
okay, I didn't see one either.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so we can tell Craig had not been familiar with machine guns, because when you shoot machine guns, there's a lot of. It's not just like regular guns, right? There's a lot more lubricants involved, a lot more pollutants involved, a lot more gunpowder flying off and cordite flying out. And after an hour of it, Craig turned around and looked like it was just like he'd fallen down and into a charcoal bath, and it was just completely covered with black dust and dirt all over him. So. And it was just like, hey. That's why all of us walk around with a big rag in our pocket, like we're mechanics or something on a machine gun range.
And Mike did everything he could not to make Craig's really black joke now.
No, I just figured, being from California, you've shot machine guns before, but it was in Compton.
Yeah, most of us don't hang out in Compton, bro.
Remember, I gave you one instruction, because being a Black American from California that likes guns, I gave you one direction when we went to the range. That's right. I said, don't shoot like that. Shoot like this. There you go.
Although I have to admit, what was the one where dude had machine gun, but it had the magazine and he's holding on to the handle like this? I was like, wait a minute, he's breaking the rules.
It's a Sten gun. Yeah, that's how they were designed. Yeah, with the mag on the side. I don't know, just an early World War II design. But yeah.
It was, and the variety of firearms that were out there was phenomenal. It was really
everything.
Well.
Yeah. Since machine guns were new, there was a piece of every single one of them out there. Yep.
And they all fired.
Yeah, they did.
All right, folks. Well, hey, let's go ahead and get into the program. And you know how we started. We started with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
That's right. Let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. Got yourself an AR in the past 5 years, probably got one of their barrels, don't even know it. Well, now you can buy from them factory direct for all your AR, rifle, and pistol needs. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting that good fight behind enemy lines. Now you could take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters, get on over to Hog Holsters. That's HAWG holsters.com, hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, whatever it may be, you can get a little bit or you can get a lot at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors. All you have to do is follow the links in the description to this program. You go there, check them out, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. Also want to encourage you, we're following chat. If you are watching us live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, go ahead. Let us know what's up. Let us know where you give us a shout out. Let us know what you think of the program. Let us know what you think about the topics that we're talking about. And if we find your comment to be interesting, we'll go ahead and we will share it with our audience. So go ahead, comment now. Do it now. Right now. Come on, I don't see any comments yet. Press enter. Right? No? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get into today's program. Once again, one of the big things we talk about a lot here is the Trump effect. And, the benefits of having Donald Trump is that he, through his words, through the positions that he takes, oftentimes what happens is, even before he can really do anything, the things that he says start to manifest. And one of the commitments that he made was that he was going to make sure that our border was secure. Well, guess what? That's right. You guessed it. Our border is, in fact, pretty darn secure. In fact, Single day migrant apprehension numbers on the southwest border fall below 200. It says here apprehension of migrants along the southwest border with Mexico fell to a historically low level on Friday, according to the Texas Department of Public Safety. Agents encountered 199 migrants on Friday, compared to 4,393 one year earlier. Texas DPS spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Olivares posted a report on X showing that Border Patrol agents encountered 199 migrants who illegally crossed the U.S. Mexico border on Friday. Olivares said the numbers reflect historic low in the number of migrants who crossed between the ports of entry. And here they have a nice little graphic here showing right here Texas border crossings on this particular day. And that's where they were all coming across. And that all has to do with multiple things. The first and foremost, the push by the president to get Mexico to step up on their end of enforcement, which, by the way, most of that enforcement by Mexico is starting to come at their southern border where people are starting to come in. But additionally, it's the message that he's sending. If you come, you will get turned back. You will get sent back. And it's amazing how just focusing on those things and then, oh, by the way, doing it will actually deter people from trying to come here.
Crazy, right? Here's a president who said, here's what I'm going to do. He's done it. We're 1 month into it, and he's had a 90% improvement rate compared to the last guy, right? Reduced, well, it's even more than, reduced 90% of those flowing in. So it's absolutely amazing. He's got Mexico, who said they can't do it. There's nothing they can do. And somebody said, well, why don't you try going to your southern border, because that's where they're coming from when they come to your country. So it's done. It's done. Couldn't be done. And always remember back, Craig, when Donald Trump has done something that people said couldn't be done. I always remember when President Obama said, there's no magic wand to bring back manufacturing jobs.
Bibbidi, bobbidi, boo.
2 weeks later, he gave it the old bibbidi bobbidi doo, and there you go. Yep. It's amazing what you can do when you take your mind off the special interest groups and you go out and do the job you're supposed to be doing.
It is amazing, isn't it? It is amazing what can in fact get done. And that's really what it comes down to, man. It's just, how about taking the time? And a lot of it is the messaging, is when you send the message, when what is the individual is probably the most well-known face in the country, in the world right now, the person who everybody who doesn't like him has said he is crazy and he is dangerous. If he says don't come, well, dude's crazy and dangerous. I'm not coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Now, I'm not saying he's crazy and dangerous, but there are times when one's reputation can be a benefit.
Oh, he's crazy. He's crazy. All right. Do you want to jump? Crazy. All right. We'll jump. I'll jump. We'll jump. Yeah. Right. Yeah, he's crazy.
You want to die, do you?
Yeah. He's Martin Riggs kind of crazy. That's what he is.
There you go. Exactly. Anyway, folks, once again, it is amazing what you do and the impact that things have when you actually do what it is that you're supposed to do. Now, compare that, for example, to our good friend, our former president, the star of Weekend at Biden's, Mr. Joe Biden, and consider the programs and the things that he was doing and the impact that in fact had. Now, you have Biden say, oh, well, illegal immigration was going to happen because they were going to come and they were coming during Trump. No, that is a big fat lie, because now we're finding out even more. Now that we've gotten into the White House, they're finding out more and more stuff that was going on. So, for example, there was a secret Biden policy that fast-tracked illegals through airport security lines. Once again, we don't know who these folks are. They are here illegally, and yet we're going to fast-track them through airport. First of all, we're flying them, and then we're going to fast-track them through airport security. Let's see here. It says President Joe Biden's airport security agency opened up fast-track lines for illegal immigrants in 2021, according to a transportation security document released by President Donald Trump's deputies. The heretofore unreleased 2021 policy allowed illegal immigrants to use a variety of DHS-provided documents to walk quickly through security checkpoints that held up many Americans. These provided documents included various documents issued by DHS, such as warrants for arrest, notice to appear, court appointments, and alien booking record documents. The policy was unveiled by journalist Brianna Morello, who wrote, quote, "These documents could be displayed electronically as TSA security checkpoints, meaning an illegal alien could present a photo or screenshot of on their device, and TSA agents were permitted to grant them passage." Meaning, when they say send a photo, they didn't have to share a photo of themselves, a photo ID saying, "This is me," and oh, by the way, on this document, it says that, I'm supposed to be able to get through. No, 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 no. Just show a picture of the document. A picture of the document. And hop on a plane in America.
Yeah, you remember, Craig, we talked about this early on. Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis from Texas and Florida, respectively, found out this was going on through their states, and it was brought to their attention, and they immediately threw up the red flag, saying, "No, no, 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 no." And that was really the push for Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis to say, you know what, if they could fast track them through airports, through TSA, and get rid of all these things, I think we could fast track their relocations. Let's start sending them to Massachusetts and New York and every place else around the country.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing that I really want you to catch on to that Mike just said that's really important. It wasn't like Governor Abbott and DeSantis just decided out of the blue, hey, let's start sending them to blue cities. It was when they realized that they were being flown into their states or they were being flown in or brought in, and they were being fast-tracked. Yeah. Evidently, somebody at DHS thought it was safe, so let's send them to blue cities. And blue cities found out real quick that it wasn't safe.
Yeah. Listen, try to go to the TSA and go, listen, I don't have my ID per se, but I have this copy of one that's just a picture of a piece of paper that you can't touch and you're not going to do a background check on, and you just let me on the plane.
I have seen TSA hold up someone if the name on the boarding pass, it could be a clear misspelling on the boarding pass, right? And it's close to the name on the ID. I've seen them not let people on.
I think it's comedian Nate Bargatze that does that bit, right? Where he had the booking agent bought his ticket and they put it for Nate Bargatze instead of Nathan Bargatze. And then when he finally got that settled, he just didn't want to tell them that his real name was Nathaniel, because that would just screw him up.
That would have caused all sorts of problems. But no, I'm telling you, and it is, that's when you all of a sudden realize, okay, I got to make sure that when I travel, I use my government name. I had a friend of mine who is now a state legislator. His name is Joe Patterson. His full name is Joseph Patterson. But whenever they would put Joseph Patterson on his travel stuff, he would get flagged by the no-fly list.
Now, Craig, do you use your government name or your stage name when you fly?
I do not have a stage name, but I use Craig DeLuz, which is in fact, both my stage name and my government name.
So you do have a stage name. Okay, just checking.
Okay. I just, before you made something up, I wanted to make sure to make that clear. I have one name. Well, three names, Craig Joseph DeLuz, but that's it.
Well, I mean, as an actor, I just figured you had a stage name as well, like Joey Gallo or Joey Callow or something like that.
Joey Callow. Oh, Joey Callow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's... love the movie references. They are always greatly appreciated. All right, moving on to our next story. This was one that you didn't see many people in the mainstream media writing about, but it is in fact a very, very big story, and it has to do with our good friend Rona. You know who I'm talking about, Rona? Rona? No? Talking about COVID-19. COVID-19.
With the K. COVID with the
COVID
K.
with a K. COVID with a K. We're talking about COVID with a K. YouTube, if you decide you want to come after us again.
Yep.
Vaccine victims left disabled after taking COVID jab react to bombshell Yale study that found shots cause extreme body changes. You know, like killing you. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant to say. I did not mean to say that. I'm sorry. See, please don't get mad at me, YouTube. Anyway, it says here when a new Yale University study identified a debilitating syndrome linked to COVID vaccines, Lindy Ayers breathed a sigh of relief. The 31-year-old Army veteran from Arkansas has been wheelchair bound since she took her second Pfizer shot in 2021 as a part of the government's military mandate. For years, she was told her extreme fatigue, sickness, and heart palpitations were anxiety. Then, doctors said it was long COVID. She was branded an anti vaxxer for suggesting it could have been the vaccine. Thousands of Americans have reported similar stories after the study news dropped. DailyMail.com spoke to dozens of Americans, including those in healthcare, law, and the military, who said they felt a sense of validation after years of being dismissed as crazy. Dr. Trevor Kyler, a 39-year-old biology professor from Minnesota who describes himself as pro-vaccine and pro-science, has been forced to cut his work hours after suffering extreme tremors and fatigue following his Moderna vaccine. For years, doctors told him his symptoms were not related to the vaccine and were probably COVID itself or long COVID. The doctor, who said he used to be very healthy and outdoorsy person, now has more trouble staying active with his wife and two children. The mRNA vaccines made by Moderna and Pfizer are estimated to have saved tens of millions of lives globally from COVID, including 3 million in the U.S. And you know, Mike, I'm not going to sit here and say that COVID vaccines didn't save lives. What I am going to say is that they have issues that they didn't want people to know about, and they didn't give people an opportunity to at least have all of the information and be able to make the decision for themselves. Because once again, we're talking about, in most cases, the millions of lives that were saved were largely people who were obese, people who were elderly, who were in groups that were highly susceptible to suffering from the symptoms of COVID. A lot of the people who are dealing with these issues, they're younger people. They're people who tend to be fit. They're people who tend to not be people who are going to succumb to COVID, but apparently they weren't so lucky when it came to the vaccine.
Yeah, this is again, agree with you, Craig. You know, was the virus? Was the vaccine needed? Of course, it was needed. But Big Brother at some point decided we're going to lie to you about all of the side effects. We're going to lie to you about all of the untested, statistics from this vaccine, and we're just going to make it mandatory. You know, they're gonna make 100% of you take it. We may lose 10% of you because of the vaccine, but we think it's going to be 20% we're going to lose if nobody takes the vaccine. Well, we know now, right, that the vaccine was not, that the virus was not as deadly as they thought it was. The problem is when you start comparing to, people that have been affected by it worldwide, you must remember we live in the first world, they live in the second and third. So they don't have the medical care, they don't have the medical prevention, they don't have all of the other resources that we have. So a flu that hits today in Zimbabwe is going to be much more devastating than the flu that hits in Sacramento, even if it's the same flu, right? I think we can agree on that. But those numbers weren't presented to us. So they knew that they had a vaccine that had issues with it and decided to keep that a secret. And not only keep it a secret, Greg, when you complained and did something about it, they shunned you, called you an anti-vaxxer, and did everything else. And that's on the last administration. And hopefully it's not over and we get to see that, work its way through the criminal court system here at some point in this next 3.5 years.
You know, Mike, there is one little area where I'm going to disagree with you, and that had to do with places in particular that were dealing with tropical weather, like in Africa. Because here's the funny part: you know, those two things, the ivermectin that was dealt with parasites, as well as the hydroxychloroquine that was largely also used with malaria. Well, in a lot of those third world countries, those were medicines that were in common use. So they were in many cases less likely to succumb to the symptoms. Plus, they didn't travel as much.
Right.
So in actuality, I mean, the United States had a much worse outcome from what I understand. I'm no medical doctor, but largely because, I mean, and I think you and I agree on this. Hundreds of thousands of people died because those therapeutics were not allowed to be were suppressed and were not allowed to be given to most people.
Well, and again, we are.
Yeah.
It's because we are over regulated. I mean,
Yes.
completely overregulated. You know, when you see a bus accident in Pashtun, 147 people are killed. You know, whereas here you got two people that have to go to the hospital for whiplash. You know, it's just and it's the same way with that virus. You know, with that virus, there was not enough on the ground. Now, if you get someplace that had immunities into it or other medications that they allowed, absolutely. But you just pick a different location. You know what I'm referring to, Craig. There were plenty of locations out there that got hit hard because they didn't have any assets available to help them.
Exactly. And anyway, folks, here's the deal. Once again, I don't care if you have a doctorate or if you have an MD or a PhD or whatever. I don't care if you run the government. When you're talking about public health, you owe the people to tell them the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And you let the people decide whether or not they want to partake of these medical interventions. Don't think, and I've seen doctors do this, I've seen the medical community do it, and I've seen the government do it. And the biggest example of both of them together doing it was COVID, was they decided the people can't handle the truth. So we're going to give them half truths and half lies in order to convince them to do what we want them to do. And then we're going to mandate that they do it. We're going to shun them. We're going to, if you don't speak out our truth, we're going to shut you up. That's what they did.
The other troubling part about this story, Craig, is that it's the same reason that Donald Trump is not giving, and the courts agreed to not give AP access to the press conferences or to the Oval Office. And that's that reason, same reasons he will not talk to CNN, ABC, NBC, ABC, CBS, because here you have this story out of Yale University, a Yale study, right? And they're talking to military veterans, they're talking to doctors that are professors of biology. This is a peer-reviewed scientific study, and it's not been released in the United States. The only coverage it's getting is in the UK and Europe.
Funny how that works, huh?
Yeah. So those that lied to you for 4 years about it now won't even show you the truth.
Now they're lying about the lie.
That's right.
Now, there is a bit of good news in the world. Joy Reid is out at MSNBC, and I have to admit this does concern me a little bit, only because Joy Reid has given us so much good quality material. She is going to really be. I mean, she should have been on our production team. She is such a crazy, whacked out leftist. Now, needless to say, what was funny is she also talks so much about white tears and Karens and all of that. Here was her statement, the thing she had to say as she exited stage left.
My show had value, and that I'm sorry that what I was doing had value. No, it didn't. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV, and I say this is kind of like being on TV, so I apologize. And that it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted, and not just Black folks, that or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them. Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, you know, defending books that people find inconvenient.
You know, what's funny, Mike, is that she's acting like she didn't just go forward and lie. Like she didn't push the COVID lie, because she did. Like she didn't push the Russia hoax lie, because she did. Like she didn't promote racism against, in particular, white people and Asians who wanted to go to college, because she did. The woman is a whacked out leftist racist, and the thing was, the public knew it, and they stopped watching. That's the reason why. But by the way, that's not going to stop her friends from accusing MSNBC, of all places, of being racist.
An even bigger programming change is at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Readout, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12. And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got count them, two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse. Firing of
Joy Reid by MSNBC, of course it was racist. MSNBC has only ever had 4 women of color solo anchor their own shows, and they've now fired all 4 of them. They've also just fired Alex Wagner. How many protests do you expect to hear from Maddow and O'Donnell and all the rest? It stinks.
See, Mike, and once again, the point that they're making, well, they're firing all their people of color hosts. You notice they call them colored. I mean, people of color. But the fact was this: nobody was watching. At least Rachel Maddow can say people were watching. I mean, more people were watching Rachel Maddow on MSNBC than anyone else. Keith Olbermann, he got fired from MSNBC a while ago because no one was watching. And now Joy Reid is out because, once again, no one is watching. Now, correct me if I am wrong, but if you are a television network, how do you measure the success of a show?
Based on the race of your host, right? That's evidently the way they do it. They measure their success based on the race of their host, which is ridiculous. We know that it has to be based on viewer ratings, based on how many people are watching. What's the click count? What's the viewership? That's what you get. And if you suck and nobody's watching you, you're going home. You're going home. You're going home. It happens to everybody across the board, Craig. Everybody. That's the way it happens. Well, it's a really good TV show on, but there's black people in it, so we're not going to cancel it. We're going to let it run forever. No, that's not the way it works. Your ratings suck. You're going home.
Right, because they sell advertising time based on the number of people who watch. And if no one's watching, no one's paying the bills. If no one's paying the bills, then Joy Reid doesn't get her $30 million a year. And you notice Joy Reid didn't offer to give up any of her paycheck. I mean, not Joy Reid. Rachel Maddow didn't offer to give up any of her paycheck. Say, why don't you come on the show with me?
Yeah, we'll split it. Right? Yeah, and Joy Reid there did say she would land on her feet. I also hope she lands on her feet. I just hope it's in front of a moving bus when it happens. In theory,
in theory. There you go. In theory.
And I know it's not on there, but also over the weekend, right? Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg out tossed as well.
Are you? I think that's fake news. I don't think they're out yet. You got to be careful with some of those. I only say that because I've been seeing that fake news meme going around for like a year now. So you got to be careful about who you know gets fired. It's like, okay, let me look up the news services that are reporting it. Just saying. I would love it if they were, but anyway, folks, that now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Get your hog holster today. Here's another reporting, specifically from Joy Behar, on her being released by MSNBC.
I'm Joy Reid, and this is my last show. MSNBC decided to cancel it because they don't realize how much my show has to offer. Like, how will white people know how racist and misogynist they are if I don't tell them every day? Anyway, joining me is another victim of oppression, Don Lemon.
Thanks, Joy. I don't know what you're upset about. There's no way you're as oppressed as I am. After all, I'm black and gay. According to the hierarchy, I'm one tier more oppressed than you.
Don, that's ridiculous. Obviously, I'm more oppressed than you because I'm black and have a minky in my pants. You're black and gay, but you're a man. And being a man canceled out the gay.
I didn't realize I was talking to Jim Crow. Being black and gay makes me way more oppressed than you.
But you don't have a minky in your pants. Man, I wish there was some way we...
What is a minky?
A what? A Mickey?
Is she saying a Mickey or a minky in her pants? I'm like, what is that?
I was looking up some Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar information. Whereas ABC has not confirmed they've left, but the two of them have missed the majority of this month.
Oh, well, there you go. I'll take it. Just please, just let it be gone. Let it be gone. Here's another. Now, this is kind of the behind the scenes reporting of what happened in the firing of Joy Behar. Those of you who are, well, just listening to the program, you're going to kind of miss this.
When the Doge people arrived at USA 8 on Friday, they forced their way.
Okay. That appeared to be an executive from MSNBC throwing the television in the garbage with Joy Behar on it.
Very nice.
Not Joy Behar, Joy Reid.
Same thing.
Oh, same thing. Okay, and now we got this one here. As you know, clear messages have been sent. Now that cartels have been declared or being declared a terrorist threat, there's a new plan for addressing the issue of terrorism in addressing cartels and their actions along the border. I think, Mike sent me this one, so I think he'll appreciate it. Oh, gotta love that one. Definitely gotta love that one. Okay.
It's coming. Listen, you hear these cartels, all this stuff. Oh, we were trained by the special forces from around the world. Okay, you got a training from a couple of small groups of individuals. That's a lot different than a surgical airstrike. Okay, that's a lot different than carpet bombing and the entire 1st Cav Division rolling south from Texas into your compound.
Yes. That is definitely very, very, very different. That is not something that I think you want to engage in yourself. Okay, let's go here now. The shots, the videos, some of the videos from the machine gun shoot. We got this one first.
Get some sound on there. Let's hear some sound.
Okay, start again. Where's the sound?
I think you got to tap it open.
All right. There we go. Let's see if I can get the next one here.
Now that is the actual sound from that one because that's a suppressor.
Well, Dad, suppressed, it was like, wow. Okay, we got one more. As you can see,
that one got a little bit of power to it. Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you right now, that is the best thing that ever came out of communism.
There you go. The AK-47. Exactly right. The peasants.
That,
yep.
That was a lot of fun. Although I have to admit, I still got a little mark here on my shoulder.
Rookie move, Craig. Rookie move. Yeah, we'll have to teach you how to hold it next time.
It was definitely. It was my first time, man.
And I had to get in the right stance. Said this one's going to make you walk backwards. I don't know if you knew what about. He got about halfway through, and Maggie took a step back, and we're like, "See,
yes,
I told you.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, and yes,
Yes.
I did. Anyway, it was a lot. And once again, it was a lot of fun. And if you ever get a chance to do it, folks, you got to do it. All I'll say is, I love Florida.
Yeah. Good stuff. Great stuff. Craig did a great job. I'm sure he had a great time.
Had a phenomenal time, and thank you to everybody who made sure I had a good time. And thank you to everybody, by the way, also who spoke at the 2A Freedom Fest. A lot of really good conversation, a lot of really good folks, great attendees, great burgers and dogs. Thank you to Kevin Sona and all the folks who sponsored. All right, it's about that time.
What was the guy? It was Mike's Dogs and Deli or something like that. Yeah, out of that area.
Yes,
so we'll get the right for it. Yeah.
Yes, definitely gotta try Mike's Dogs. Not that Mike's Dogs, but Mike's Dogs and stuff. Yep. I think it's Mike's Dogs and stuff. Anyway, before we go, let's give another quick shout out to our sponsors.
Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Now you can get all the AR needs you need: pistol caliber barrels, rifle caliber barrels, anything you desire for all of your AR desires. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting that good fight behind enemy lines. Take part in California's future. And if you want to test in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement gear, military, fire, whatever it may be, you get a little, you get a lot. Get on over uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Once again, please take a moment, visit our sponsors by following the links in the description to this program. And with that, we're going to call it a day. We're going to be back tomorrow on Hump Day. So till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and if you get a chance, especially if you can do it in full auto, send a few downrange for me. Not at me, just for me. I'll let y'all tomorrow.